it was a difficult moment. My clients had all left.
No.
So it was the perfect storm of issues. It's a wonderful city because I feel that it's a place like Florence where you feel that people come to make their dreams come true.
Hi, I'm Heather, and I'm here in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. I'm meeting with an artist who left the corporate world and found himself right back where he was meant to be. He left his childhood dream behind, and years later, a life crisis brought him back to it, sparking a complete reinvention. I am here with Alejandro Anaya in his gallery. Thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you.
Yes. So Alejandro, I would love to know first, what type of art do you create?
Well, I mostly do characters, surrealism and expressionism, but mostly characters that tell a story.
Okay, I love that. And since
Thank you.
mentioned story, take us back to the beginning of your story. I'd love to hear where it all began and how it started, because I know you had a dream as a child.
Yes, I did. I started out, I was obsessed with telling stories and with drawing. That's the only thing I could do. So I started doing my own comic books.
Okay.
And creating my own characters and my own adventures. But it was an excuse to express visually what I wanted to and then tell a story through that.
Okay.
So that evolved into work your creative side.
Yes.
At the same time that your soul is kind of at peace.
Yes, I love that. Alejandro, I love hearing about your childhood's experience and your passion, but I want to know what caused for that pivot. If you loved art and expressing yourself in comic books, when did that pivot?
Well, I come from a small city in the north of Mexico. It's very conservative. It was at the time. And my parents weren't crazy about me going into art. They wanted me to be into something more stable.
Practical.
More
right?
practical. So I went into the next best thing, which was communications.
Okay.
And it was good. I learned about journalism, about writing, about cinema. And that kind of drew me into the whole corporate communications world.
Yes. Okay, so this took you then down that path of your life crisis.
Yes.
I want you to paint that picture for us. What was that like in that moment that you realized that something had to change?
Well, I was working on a very big project in Monterrey, and it just fell apart. And everything, it was like the perfect storm.
Yes.
You know, all my clients left at that moment. That major project just went away.
Yes.
I had just bought a house, which I owed, and then I just said, you know what, I'm going to leave everything behind. I'm going to take a trip to Europe, which was
It was a dream of yours to go to Europe, right? Oh.
Looking for something to speak to me. And I remember I got to London and I stepped into the Victoria Albert Museum. And I remember I bought a sandwich at the museum and walked into the courtyard, started seeing the artwork, and I said, I don't know why I left this. I need to come back to this.
It brought you back to that that place of peace and comfort that you had as a child.
Exactly, and it felt so familiar. And it was always with me in the back of my mind. But it took something like this to happen and then taking a trip and being exposed to all this beautiful art to kind of push that dream out of me.
Isn't that how life happens, right? That
oh yeah.
When you're meant to be on a specific path and you're not, it's like catastrophe. We'll take it all apart. So the only way out is up and out of it, right? Oh, I love that story. Alejandro, I'd love for you to take me through some of your artwork and just explain to me or express to us like how that moment of despair, that pit that you were in that made you make such a monumental change in your life, the reinvention, how was that pulled into some of your art? What can you share with us? How did that inspire you?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because it's in pretty much everything in my art. And it was like at that moment in my life, I used to think that I would wake up and look out the window, and
Yes.
it was raining fire, and the four horsemen of the apocalypse
Yeah.
were about to get into my house, because it was a difficult moment. My clients had all left.
Yes.
I just lost the biggest project. I think I had an injury in one of my feet that got infected.
Oh, no.
So it was the perfect storm of issues. So when I started making art, for example, one element you'll see a lot in my pieces is the weather vane.
Okay.
And for me, the weather vane is aesthetically is something I like very much, but also it's a symbol of when the wind changes, you have to change with it. You have to adapt. Even more so nowadays.
Right, that's very true. And that's what you did in that moment of despair. You went and traveled and found your new way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the more you expose yourself to those new winds, the more you're going to change direction and you're going to find your way.
Yes.
The other thing is, I do a lot of compasses and, for example, lighthouses. This is also, my idea of trying to find direction in your life. Your life is a journey, and you need to expose yourself to new things, find what guides you, gives you that light, that knowledge, and then use your compass or use your sextant to find your way through your life. What really motivates you, what makes your life worth living.
Yes. Why don't you tell us what artists have inspired you?
Well, that's a really good question, because it started when I was a kid, when I was looking at Maurice Sendak's Where the Wild Things Are. Edward Gorey was a big impact when I was a child. Then as I grew up, Mexicans like Jose Luis Cuevas, like Toledo, some of the Oaxacans, Tamayo was a big influence, Picasso also.
Oh, yes.
But more the surrealist type and the expressionist thing, not to use the normal colors. I never liked realism. I've always liked the expression of the interpretation of the artist.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that's great. And I heard that your wife is also an artist.
Yes, she is. As a matter of fact, that's her work right
I
there.
love this.
And it's funny you mentioned her because we ended up, and I use that term, but we live in San Miguel because I was living in Mexico City at the time. She was living back where we're from, Torreon. And when we met in Torreon, I was visiting for Christmas. She said, I'm an artist.
Yes.
And we hit it off immediately. And I said, well, come to Mexico City. And she's like, no. and okay, I said, and she goes, come back to Torreon. I was like, no.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that. I got out 30 years ago. And I said, I love San Miguel de Allende because it's an artist hub. It's kind of like Florence in that sense. And she said, well, I go to San Miguel once a year. And that was like a no-brainer.
You needed to move to San Miguel.
We need to move to San Miguel.
Oh,
It's been a wonderful, it's a wonderful city because I feel that it's a place like Florence where you feel that people come to make their dreams come true.
So true. That you walk down the street and someone's singing.
Exactly.
And then another sketch artist on the
Exactly.
side. Or there's a man in the square that always plays his trumpet. So we know.
Yes. And people who you talk to and say, what did you do in your former life?
Yes.
And they would say, well, I was an accountant. And what do you do now? Well, now I'm doing this or that. Or, now I became what do you call the wine tasters?
Sommelier.
Sommelier.
Yes.
So you see all these people that reinvented their lives, and this is a perfect place to do it, I think.
I think it's in the soil. It's in the the stone. It's in the culture and the history of San Miguel, because I feel that exact same thing. It's a place that you can reinvent, and maybe reinvention is born here. So I love that.
Well, absolutely. Well, I always refer people to this church, because the church is the perfect example of reinvention.
Yes.
It was a small church that kept falling, and the bishop just got tired and got a construction worker and said, listen, what can you do? He said, I'd like to do something like a cathedral in Germany. And he said, fine, and it became the symbol of the city.
Yes.
And I always tell people it's the symbol of reinvention.
That's such a
That
beautiful
church
part of the story.
symbolizes how everything changed.
Yeah, it kept falling apart, and then it was reconstructed into this beautiful structure that everyone comes to see.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh, that's great. Well, I'm just blown away by all of your art because it really inspires like a story. Like I look at each piece and I just envision where you were and what you gathered, and it takes me to a place. So this one in particular really draws my eye, and I would love to hear the story about how you created this art piece.
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I started doing Don Quixotes during the pandemic.
Okay, yeah.
And this was, the shutdown came, and all artists were thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
And a man from Spain who was our neighbor watched me sketching,
Yeah.
and he said, "You're an artist." Yes. He said, I want a Don Quixote, but I want your interpretation of Don
Ooh.
Quixote in a big format.
Wow.
And I'll pay it. So I did a Don Quixote for him, and he said, I love it. I want one a week.
Wow.
And this was during the pandemic, and I said, absolutely, in a big format. And he said, do your own thing, do your interpretation,
Wow.
every interpretation differently. So for 16 weeks,
Oh
I
my
made a
goodness.
different interpretation, and every week he had a check waiting for me, and he filled his studio with my Don Quixote. So now he's like my lucky charm.
Yes.
And I love the character because I think it's very much in tune with what he thought.
Right? Oh, I love that.
So this, for example, and for me, of course, the windmills are these giants. Some of them are kind of shapeless and harder to approach. Some of them are very clear, and I did this
rigid and structured.
rigid
I
in
like
structure, and I did that with the pages of a book.
Yes.
Because
that's
sometimes
beautiful.
you can read into your problems, and you can. That's the best way to approach them. And this yellow eye represents the two views we have. The structured, which usually gets spilled over by
Yes.
this kind of thing, and our creative vision. So we have two ways of looking at the world. The very logical, the very structured, and the way we do it with our hearts. So that's this representation of Don Quixote.
Thank you for sharing that story. That was so beautiful.
My pleasure.
Especially that during another time of tumult and difficulty, you found someone who was commissioning your art
Yes.
through the pandemic.
And who gave me the freedom to do,
Right.
however I wanted it. So that really gave me a chance to try new things, to explore this character,
Yes.
and to try new ways of representing him.
Right, a reinvention of Don Quixote.
Exactly.
I love that too. Well, San Miguel is the place to come for reinvention. We talked about the parroquia, we talked about your art and finding yourself here with your lovely wife. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I can't wait to share more stories of reinvention from San Miguel de Allende.